Alright. I saw Deadpool 2 finally this weekend. I just wanted to wait on this one. Like, I see all these movies opening weekend, and it's tough. Like, I gotta work it around my work schedule, and I have to go really late to make it, and get up really early for work the next morning. So, with this one, I wasn't too worried about spoilers, so I went ahead and waited and saw it the second weekend. Thoroughly enjoyed this film. It was really damn good. I think it's hard for me, like, to not like one of these Marvel films. I'm kind of already in the bag for these movies because they're all so great that like it's hard. You would have to make a pretty shitty movie for me to go and be like, nah, I don't really like that one. But this one was really good. It's this, third go-around of an R rating for a Marvel movie, or for any of these superhero movies, really. And they did it again, man. Ryan Reynolds did it again. He's the one behind this even happening. Like, he was pushing for 10 years to have this done, and to have a Deadpool movie, and then pushing for the R rating. And I'm so glad that it ended up happening, that we got an R-rated film. R-rated superhero movie, and especially Deadpool, which kind of like it just wouldn't be the same if it wasn't. I feel like if we had a PG-13 Deadpool film, it wouldn't be what we got. You know what I mean? I don't think it would be nearly as well received as it is as an R-rated film. Yeah, I thought this thing was, first off, just as funny as the first one. I see a lot of people saying, like, yeah, it was great, but the first one was funnier. I have to disagree. I think they're pretty well even. I think the only thing that the first one had going for it that the second one didn't is that it had never been done before, and it caught people off guard. Like, what? I've never seen a superhero dropping the fuck word. I've never seen crude humor in a superhero film. So it had the shock value in the first one. So the second one didn't have that as much, but the humor in it was right on par with the first one. Absolutely. Right out of the gate, I was laughing my ass off. Wolvie on a pike, like, that was just, throwing salt in the wound of losing Wolverine in the Logan movie. I thought it was great, and I love that this movie didn't even people talk about, like, this is a breaking the fourth wall or whatever. Dude, this is like the Deadpool movies. It's not even like a fourth wall breaking thing. It's more like this movie had no walls at all, had no ceiling, had no floor. Like, it was almost like Deadpool stands outside of everything, not just outside of the movie, but outside of pop culture, and looks in and makes fun of everything. And I think it's great. Story was cool. I liked Cable in it. I'd love to see a movie that portrays Cable without the silly factor around him, because that's just an awesome character in general. I'd love to see, like, a standalone Cable film, or something that just has more to do with him on a personal level. But for this, I think it worked great. They had him play, the straight man role to Ryan Reynolds' goofy, crazy zaniness. But yeah, I thought all the actors did fantastic. I loved how they focus on Domino's luck. It was they make the joke, like, luck isn't cinematic or whatever, and then they show that it's probably the most cinematic part of the entire film is all the things that happen due to Domino's luck. So yeah, I loved all the characters in this thing. The best thing to me is, spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen it by now, then you're probably not that huge of a Deadpool fan anyway. So, spoilers going forward. I love that they went through all these lengths to build this X-Force team. and they all died, except for like one of them, right? They all died right out of the plane, like the high winds took them. I thought it was so funny, dude. Like, dude going into a helicopter blade and going into power lines. By the way, if you didn't notice, what was his name? What did they call him? Mr. Invisible? I can't remember what they called him. Mr. Invisible. Okay, you get the idea, though. You couldn't see the guy who was invisible, right? So it was like this joke. When he came to the auditions, there was no one there. And they were like, is he here? He's not here, is he? Like, they didn't know. They let him on the team. Anyway, when he dies, he runs into the power lines. You see that it's Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt played the invisible guy. I guarantee that's not his name, Mr. Invisible. But that was hilarious. What else? The story was good, man. I thought it was cool with the kid having the powers and Cable wanting to kill the kid before he did anything too drastic. Ended up killing his family and whatnot. So that made sense. You believed it, that he's coming back and he really just has to kill this kid. We've seen this in other movies before. One of my favorites was damn it, I lost it now. Bruce Willis is in it, and he travels back in time to kill a kid. Anyway, sorry. The post-credit scenes. Now, this is something where I was like a little bit disappointed. Or like that and the cameo. There was this hoopla, right? I made a video about it. About the super secret cameo that was going to happen in this movie that they added in post-production. And it was it just ended up being the X-Men. It was super quick. Like, they were in the X-Mansion, and like you saw in the background somebody closing a door because they were being too loud, right? And it was the X-Men team. But the weird thing is it was the X-Men team from the 80s or the 70s or whatever, like whatever genre you want to go with. But the X-Men First Class people. And so that was kind of weird, because this is like now, right? Like, we think of this movie was taking place present day, so it was kind of weird that the old X-Men were there. So that might just have been some fuckery. That might have been just like, who cares if it's canon? Who cares if it matters? Because it's Deadpool. And that's what I love about Deadpool is, like, is it canon? Isn't it? Who knows? But who cares? It doesn't even matter. Like, he's outside of all of it, so it doesn't make him do anything. Case in point, the post-credit scenes. The post-credit scenes, Deadpool gets his hands on the time-traveling device that Cable brought with him, and he uses it to go back in time. This might have been the best part of the film. To go back in time into the X-Men Origins Wolverine film and kills the original abomination that was the first Deadpool that Ryan Reynolds played. He's always joking about how horrible that was, what a horrible misrepresentation that Deadpool was. And so he goes back and he shoots him in the head, and that's where we get another cameo, which was Wolverine. And they basically, I don't know if they did a little bit of the that face animation or whatever, but it definitely was Hugh Jackman. He was there doing this part. He looked really young, though, so it might have been they used some CGI on that. But yeah, they had him there. It was that scene where he's like, they finally figured out a way to shut you up, Wade. And then like Deadpool like creeps in, blows his brains out, and then like that's the end. Slips away. Then the next one that they show, he goes back to when Ryan Reynolds received the Green Lantern script. And like Ryan Reynolds is like looking at the script, and he's like, made the big time now, buddy, right? Because we all know Green Lantern was horrible, but obviously when Ryan Reynolds got that script, he probably thought it was like, I made it, man. I'm a superhero. But yeah, he shoots Ryan Reynolds in the back of the head, right? and kills him before he can make Green Lantern. So that was, like I said, more than fourth wall breaking. It was like there were no dimensions. There are no dimensions to Deadpool. Like, he's outside of all of it. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious. A buddy of mine told me that there was originally going to be another post-credit scene where he goes back even earlier in time and kills baby Hitler. I don't know how well that would have played. I'm sure it would have been funny, but as funny as killing Ryan Reynolds before he takes the Green Lantern script, I don't think so. As funny as killing the Deadpool abomination from X-Men Origins Wolverine, no, I don't think it would be as fun. I'm glad they left it where they did. I was upset, though, because I waited till the very, very end of the credits thinking there would be a post-credit scene, and there wasn't, so I was a little upset by that. But overall, man, I love this thing. It was great. I thought it was a great movie. And I think that the action in it, it's like, if they could put that kind of cinematic action into the X-Men films, I think, I don't know, I think they'd be doing the world a favor. I really do. I'd love to see more R-rated comic book films, definitely. I think they're coming. I think Deadpool showed the world that can happen. I think Logan proved that it works beyond just Deadpool, and I think Deadpool 2 just showed us once again, like, works, man. It's a good thing. So, anyway, that's kind of my overview of Deadpool 2. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was as good as the first one. Not better, but definitely on par. The humor, for me, it hit just the same as the first one. It wasn't as shocking, but it was just as funny. So, that's my take on it. If you enjoyed the video, please like the video. And if you'd like to see, movie reviews, series reviews, people talking about pop culture, nerd stuff, comic books, stuff like that, please subscribe for more, because this is what I do on the channel. I just talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about, whenever the hell I want to talk about it. So, subscribe. Stick around for more. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.